this video we're reacting to what if Yoda left Kashyyyk to arrest Palpatine with Windu. This Star Wars What If is made by the Star Wars Galaxies, so make sure to check his channel out in the description down below. He makes some awesome Star Wars What Ifs, and he definitely deserves your sub, as he's the original creator of this video. The link to the original video will also be down below in the description of this video, and without further ado, let's get into reacting.
What if Yoda arrived back on Coruscant before Windu went to arrest
Palpatine?
That's our story for today. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and let's get right into it. Our story begins inside of the Jedi Council chambers on Coruscant, as the Jedi are discussing their next plans after the Battle of Coruscant has ended. Although Dooku was dead and Grievous is on the run, there are many active battlefields throughout the galaxy, but the Force has greatly shifted, and there was a feeling amidst the Council that the true Sith Lord would be revealing themselves very soon. But the Jedi, especially Yoda and Windu, figured they should try and bait the Sith into revealing themselves. This war has gone on for far too long, so Yoda decided he would go to Kashyyyk, while Windu remains on the planet. They have to hope that Sidious finally takes this opportunity, reveals themselves, and they can finally pounce on the Sith Lord. A long while later, inside of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, as a group of Jedi are meeting to discuss the many battles going on across the galaxy, Ki-Adi-Mundi is here from Megiddo, Aayla Secura from Felucia, and Yoda from Kashyyyk, and they're all meeting with Windu and Skywalker on Coruscant.
So cool.
As they were speaking, Commander Cody interrupted from Utapau to inform the group that Obi-Wan Kenobi has engaged General Grievous.
Let's go!
Windu thanked Cody, then he sent Anakin to the Chancellor's office to deliver this report. As the Jedi Council spy, Anakin was supposed to look into Palpatine's reaction to this report, and then tell the Council about his reaction. Of course, Anakin didn't think anything would come from this. The Chancellor was a good man, but he followed orders and he went to his office. Once he was gone, Windu turned back to the Jedi, and he admitted that he senses a plot to destroy the Jedi. Although Anakin may not see it, the dark side of the Force surrounds the Chancellor. Mundi nodded in agreement, then said that if Palpatine does not give up emergency powers after Grievous is destroyed, then he must be removed from office. Yoda lowered his head, then said that he has made a great mistake. Initially, he and Windu decided that one of them should be away from Coruscant in order to lure the Sith Lord out of hiding, but now both Windu and Yoda knew the truth. The Sith would be revealing themselves regardless of who was on Coruscant.
Indeed.
So they should both be there as the heads of the council. Yoda said his ship is already ready, and he will be returning to the temple shortly. Windu nodded.
Hurry up, Yoda.
Idea, and soon, the meeting would come to an end. Across Coruscant, Anakin's entire galaxy was soon turned upside down, as Palpatine began to unravel the truth. He was telling Anakin that the Council cannot be trusted to do the right thing. They are likely planning to overthrow him right now. Anakin didn't know exactly what to believe, and soon enough, Palpatine began telling Anakin that in order to achieve the power he seeks, he must explore the dark side of the Force, not just the dogmatic ways of the Jedi. And now Anakin began to have the truth about Palpatine. He was the Sith Lord. So Anakin ignited his blade, and he stared down the man that he thought to be like a father to him. He was actually a traitor not only to him, but to the entirety of the Republic, to the Jedi, to Padme, to everybody. Palpatine said only he has the power to save Padme Amidala, and through waves of confusion and turmoil, Anakin began to fly back to the Jedi Temple to tell Windu everything, but he didn't know what he actually wanted to do. He wasn't sure of what to do. He only knew that this was his duty, to tell the Jedi. But Palpatine promised he could save Padme. Anakin shook his head. He couldn't listen. Palpatine was a Sith Lord. He must trust the Jedi, despite what his mind was telling him. And Anakin would run through the temple, soon finding Windu in the meditation chamber. Windu asked Anakin what was wrong, and Anakin told him everything. Windu said that their worst fears have been realized, and now he is just waiting for Yoda to arrive. Anakin clearly looked puzzled, but Windu said that Yoda is returning from Kashyyyk any minute.
Let's go!
And moments later, the door opened,
Master
and Yoda
Cabbage
stood here as Windu told him the truth about Palpatine. The two of them quickly began to leave, and Anakin said that he should be going with them. Yoda and Windu looked to each other, then told Anakin to wait here. Yoda said that Palpatine told Anakin the truth because he is relying on Anakin to join him. Anakin accepted this with frustration. and he watched the two leaders of the Jedi Council take off into the Coruscant
is this
traffic.
the correct decision?
As Yoda and Windu flew to Palpatine's office, the Dark Lord was waiting patiently.
Wait, Yoda and Windu were flying there alone? I mean, see, so he's probably going to surprise them with that Force scream and that weird-ass jump, as he did in the movie. But I think he's not going to get anywhere with that against Windu and Yoda. And Windu alone beat him, can probably beat him, you know. There's different opinions about it. But with Yoda, like, Yoda can beat him alone. Like, he's kind of cooked, you know.
He knew that Anakin was going to tell Windu, and Windu would likely be bringing a group of Jedi here to arrest him.
He's bringing Master
That
Cabbage.
was all fine. He could deal with the Jedi. He's been waiting decades for this moment, when everything he has built culminates into one grand finale before the rise of his empire. He would not lose, and he fully expected Anakin to arrive at some point, hopefully to see that it is the Jedi who stand in the way of peace.
Do they now?
And as Palpatine soon looked to the doorway, Mace Windu did enter, but there was not a group of Jedi with him. Instead, just one Jedi.
Oh,
Grand
shit.
Master Yoda. Palpatine stood up slowly. There was no need for games in this moment. These were the two Jedi he hated above the rest, aside from maybe Kenobi.
And the most powerful
These
ones.
two were the ones that he had pretended to work with, and they always pretended to like each other just enough. It was the way of things in politics, but for years the Jedi thought Palpatine seemed off, just because he was a politician. But no, Palpatine was the greatest enemy of the Jedi. He was the Sith Lord plotting their destruction for years. From working with Plagueis, to becoming a senator, to killing Plagueis, and becoming Chancellor. Slowly creating an entire galactic war, all for this very moment. Windu and Yoda circled the office on opposite sides, and Palpatine almost couldn't stop smiling about this. Yoda said that his rule comes to an end today, but Palpatine said that today is the day his empire rises. Windu said that the Senate would never stand for turning the Republic to an empire, but Palpatine tilted his head and told Windu that he is terribly mistaken. He already is the Senate, and when he shows the Senate just how dangerous and treasonous the Jedi Order has become, the Senate will instead applaud the creation of this empire.
Come on, guys, beat him.
It will mark the end of this republic, and it will create a truly safe and secure society, Palpatine said with a laugh. Both Windu and Yoda ignited their lightsabers now, as Palpatine did the same, and then said, "Let the final act of my plans commence," as the two Jedi moved in on the Sith Lord. And Palpatine immediately would unleash torrents of lightning at the Jedi, tendrils of blue energy searing the air. Mace and Yoda deflected all of the blasts, their lightsabers coming together to deflect the lightning back at the Sith Lord as he flipped away. With a yell, Mace pushed towards Palpatine, their blades now locking together, as Windu separated, then clashed sabers again and again. Yoda flipped at Palpatine and was able to kick him in the head as the Sith Lord spun away, grabbing the ceiling with the Force, bringing it down upon the two Jedi. Mace and Yoda dove out of the way, then regrouped for a new charge at Palpatine. The three of them fought, and they were at the window now, their blades cutting away the glass. The wind from the outside was blowing their robes, as Windu told Palpatine he is cornered. Surrender now, or they will kill him. But Sidious smiled, then blasted a nearby speeder with lightning, and pulled it towards them. Sidious leapt out of the window now, sliding down the wall of the building.
Not good.
As Windu and Yoda dodged the incoming speeder, then chased Sidious down the building. The battle spilled out of the office, and down into the streets of Coruscant, drawing the attention of clones and citizens all around. Sidious crushed any sorts of light, and lifted up his hood as he swung at the two Jedi, leaping over a low...
Lifted up his hood? So... And they're in the streets. Clones and citizens are seeing them. Palpatine just fucked up.
Swing from Yoda, then flipping up to a rooftop to throw pipes and other debris down at the Jedi. Windu and Yoda followed Sidious, and the trio now dueled among the skyscrapers, green, purple, and red blades colliding with each other to light up the night. Palpatine dapped into the depths of his dark power, creating a force storm around him to throw more lightning and objects at the Jedi. But Mace and Yoda stood tall, clashing lightsabers, getting into the storm, holding up strong as the dark waves tried pushing them away. Yoda made eye contact with Mace, and Mace nodded, and Yoda jumped into the air. Windu used a force push to send him flying at Palpatine.
Go!
Yoda flew, and he slashed across the Dark Lord's chest, causing him to stumble backwards right into a wall. Sidious slowly stood back up, swinging at the Jedi, but he was weakened now, causing him to miss, and so Mace slashed him across the back.
Let's go!
Sidious stumbled, falling to the ground, and he looked up, asking the Jedi not to kill him. Please, he's too weak. And in the distance, Sidious could see a speeder fast approaching. He knew it was Anakin, so he curled his fingers up at the Jedi for one last stand, firing lightning. Yoda and Windu had to block it. They were holding strong again, but the lightning was threatening to engulf them, as Palpatine was using the remnants of his power, the last of it, doing everything he could. But he just wasn't strong enough. He couldn't beat the two greatest Jedi in the Order. Maybe if he was fighting just one of them, he could have beat them. Maybe he could beat Yoda. Maybe Windu. But together, he just didn't stand a chance any longer. And Yoda was able to cut his hands off. As Windu spun his saber and plunged it through Palpatine.
Let's go!
Killing him here, as he saw Anakin land before dying. Palpatine tried to stay alive, tried to transfer his essence, but he couldn't do it. And as Anakin landed, running up to him, Palpatine was dead. Anakin was running on the roof of the building, running at the Jedi, asking them what they've done. And Anakin fell to his knees, seeing Palpatine dead and mangled from battle, and Windu said that they did what had to be done. Anakin stood up, getting in Windu's face, saying that he has committed high treason, and Yoda yelled at Anakin to look around at what Palpatine did. Anakin shook his head, snapping out of this mindset that he was in, and he took a moment to actually look around him. On the streets below, speeders were crashed, citizens were screaming out for help, or just in pain in general. Buildings were damaged, homes, offices, people were hurt or dead, and Anakin knew that it was all Sidious. The Sith Lord went on a rampage trying to kill Windu and Yoda, and Anakin could see now that the Sith promises to save Padme's life were nothing more than empty words. The Sith only take life. They destroy. And Anakin took a deep breath as a Coruscant guard transport landed nearby, with clone troopers now running at the Jedi, asking what was going on. To the clones, this just looked like the Jedi killed Palpatine, and so they raised their blasters, telling them they were under arrest immediately. The Jedi accepted this, as they didn't exactly have other options, and they were taken away into the transport.
So the fucking stupid clones under Commander stupid dumbass Fox are just gonna ignore the fact that Palpatine was swinging with them with a red lightsaber, the Force fucked up like Coruscant, and they're just gonna arrest it. Like, Commander Fox is dumbass, like holy crap.
Into a Republic prison, as a Republic trial was quickly being organized. Anakin, Windu, and Yoda were escorted into Republic holding cells, passing by many senators, such as Padme Amidala, Bail Organa, and even Speaker Mas Amedda. Anakin nodded to Padme, trying to assure her that everything was okay. But news quickly began to spread through Coruscant via the Republic holonets. The Jedi have murdered the Supreme Chancellor. Mas Amedda has stepped in as the temporary leader of the Republic. And the first move was to pull all Jedi away from active battlefields and have them return to the Jedi Temple. Republic armies were now being led by their clone commanders rather than Jedi, as all of them began to return to Coruscant. Ki-Adi-Mundi began to leave Megiddo, Aayla Secura from Felucia, Obi-Wan from Utapau. Many Jedi, whether they were in battle, in a ship, no matter what they were doing, were ordered to return to Coruscant, abandoning their troops on the battlefields. Hours would go by, and Windu, Yoda, and Anakin would begin to discuss their strategy together. They truly felt that they made the right move by assassinating Palpatine. He was too dangerous to be left alive, but they knew the Senate may not see it that way. Windu said that in the old days of the Republic, amendments were made to the Constitution to make it so that Sith could never hold office. So they would use that, along with the fact that they had to act in self-defense against Palpatine. They knew it probably wouldn't work. The Republic was extremely corrupt, but they had to try. They had to prove their innocence. And in the cell, Yoda and Windu would notice that Anakin was acting quite strange, and this was obviously to be expected after everything that just happened. But there was something more to it. Yoda grabbed his chin, thinking about everything, and he realized that they never asked Anakin, perhaps the most important question above everything else. Why did Palpatine reveal that he was a Sith Lord to him? Anakin hesitated to answer this. He was clearly uncomfortable. And Yoda asked if it was something to do with his nightmares. Did Palpatine promise something that Yoda did not? Yoda remembered his conversation with Anakin about the nightmares. He told Anakin to learn to let go of all that he fears to lose. And Yoda could feel through the Force in that moment that Anakin was not satisfied. The boy was impatient, and likely wanted the rank of Master to access the restricted section of the Jedi archives. Anakin looked up with hesitation, and he said that Palpatine offered him more answers than the Jedi ever did. He sees now that Palpatine was not to be trusted, but what was he supposed to do, Anakin asked. Yoda and Windu asked Anakin exactly what he was going through, and Anakin decided that he was already in a prison cell. Things can't really get worse, so he told the Jedi about Padme and his nightmares about her dying in childbirth. Yoda jabbed his cane at Anakin, telling him that his inability to put away his fears make him vulnerable. His forbidden attachment is nearly exploited by the Sith. Anakin turned away, saying that he won't let Padme die, and Yoda said that he still does not understand. It is his fears that create these dreams, and in trying to prevent them, only then will they come true. All visions are of a possible future. Padme is safe, so long as Anakin does not try to do anything crazy to change the future. Anakin finally felt a bit of relief wash over him. Finally, some real advice. And moments later, Padme herself entered into the holding cell that the Jedi were in, and she said that everyone is ready for the trial. The three Jedi got up and moved into the Republic courts. Many important people were here waiting to see what the Jedi had to say, including the entire Jedi Council. Mas Amedda was sitting atop the area, and he recapped everything that was known.
Master bitch.
Former Chancellor Palpatine led the Republic through this war, a war that the Jedi willingly led. And today, the Jedi assassinated him on the streets of Coruscant. Mas exclaimed that the entire Jedi Order should be punished for this treason of the highest level. Then he asked the Jedi to explain themselves. Windu stepped forward and began saying everything they knew that led them to their decision to go to Palpatine's office. Windu described how Palpatine stayed in office for far longer than his term asked, using his emergency powers to control the war and prolong it for his own gain. Mas said there was no proof of this, but Windu said that it is in the nature of a Sith to garner as much power as possible without thinking of anyone else. The word Sith was unfortunately not very well known, except for in texts from times of the Old Republic. They were known essentially as Dark Jedi. Mace called for a midichlorian test on Palpatine's body, and for fingerprints on the red lightsaber discovered at the scene. Both of these were quickly done, and they helped to prove Windu's points.
Good.
Palpatine had an extremely high M count, and the red saber belonged to him. And in the Constitution, Sith were not allowed in office. So now Mas asked the Jedi why they decided it was in their control to go and arrest or execute the Chancellor. They do not have that authority. But Windu went back to his earlier point, saying that Palpatine's emergency powers gave him control over the Senate and the courts. He was too dangerous to be left alive, and the Jedi accepted the risks of preserving peace by killing him. After a while, with more back and forth between Mas Amedda and Mace Windu, Mas called for a vote among all of the senators. The vote was whether or not the Jedi should be exiled out of the Republic for their treasonous acts against the Chancellor. Despite all of the solid reasons that Windu gave to Mas and the Senate watching through the HoloNet, Mas Amedda was just as corrupt as anyone else in the Republic. He didn't want the Jedi here any longer, and neither did many of the senators, so a vote would be put into place, and a majority, albeit barely a majority, voted that the Jedi leave the Republic.
What the fuck? Dude! Oh my god, fucking corrupt pigs! Holy honestly, just, what is this bullshit? Corrupt monkeys, goddamn.
And so, it was done. And honestly, the Jedi were fine with this. They would be able to pull out from a war that they probably shouldn't be fighting in, and they can go back to keeping the peace for all of the galaxy, rather than just the planets fighting for the Republic in this war. So over the next few weeks, as clone troopers and Republic admirals continued fighting off the last of the Separatist droid armies, the Jedi began to depart from the Jedi Temple. Despite doing the necessary thing, they had to leave this place behind. In a way, they were giving the Republic something to unite over and hopefully come together. And once the Jedi were all officially gone, Mas Amedda organized a complete teardown of the temple that would be replaced with a memorial celebrating the victory of the Clone Wars for the Republic. The Jedi would settle in on Tython, and they would slowly but surely begin spreading their influence across the galaxy, creating beacons in many sectors of the galaxy where people could call for help. As for Anakin, he stayed in the Order with Obi-Wan and many other friends, but was with Padme as she gave birth to twins. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka would often visit. The twins would stay out of the Order for now, with hopes they could be trained someday, but Anakin would spend the first few years helping Padme to raise the twins. Mas Amedda would remain as Chancellor,
Great.
and the Republic would just continue on as it always did, corrupt and unfair to those it ruled over. Many senators like Bail Organa and Mon Mothma would do everything they could to change things, but there was only so much that could be done. Over the years, the Jedi would be seen as the heroes they once were, as separating from the Republic was the best possible move for them. They helped the people of the galaxy, rather than just doing whatever the senators needed, and it helped the Order return to being what it should be. And folks, that is our story for today. Hope you enjoyed. Real quick, we are going to be doing a lightsaber giveaway at 60,000 subscribers, so hit the...
Okay. So this what if was kind of annoying, but not in the way that Star Wars Galaxy wrote it annoying, like it was bad. Annoying at like the fact that just the Senate is so corrupt and fucking stupid. I mean, it's just annoying to hear that after all of that, the Jedi were exiled. Like, fucking hell. Get yourself some brains. But I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Pretty solid story. Well written. Kind of shows, again, that the Senate is full of dumbasses. So yeah, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Well written story. Doesn't go off point. And yeah. So let me know what you would rate this what if from 1 to 10 in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree with my rating. 8 out of 10. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, remember to subscribe to the Star Wars Galaxy and check out the original video. Links in the description. Subscribe to me as well. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. Like the video if you enjoyed. Turn the notifications on and follow my Twitter. Link will be down below in the description of this video. Also, don't forget to share this video to anybody you know. I appreciate all of the support very much from you guys. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. This is why I made a Force be with you. Till then, I'll see you next time. Hey, you didn't watch it? Well, check out this video on the left side of the screen, which is specifically recommended for you, or check out the playlist on the right of the screen, which contains similar videos to this one, made by me, of course. Hey, remember, subscribe.